No, not Monday. Wednesday edition, Mr. Irrelevant. Whoa, been one of those weeks. I'm Alex Strouf, Josh DiMaggio, Will Summers, Hunter Vaughn. The whole crew is here with you as we've got plenty to dive into today. All right, Mike's already on. What's on your mind?
I was just going to ask, when you return from vacation, do you have the same issue I have of like returning to your habits and and getting back in the swing of things?
I don't know that I've ever been off, at least like a non-holiday season. Right. I don't know that I've ever been off for a week straight. So I've actually really struggled this week with like remembering to do things. Like Monday, something I do every day I forgot to do.
Yeah.
And then I had to deal with the repressions of that on Tuesday.
Off.
Yeah. So, but we're back at it. Today is Wednesday. It is February 25th. It is good to be here. And excited to get into a ton from the training combine out in Indianapolis, and Brian Gutekunst obviously meeting with the media yesterday, including something I want to lead off the top with because it's something that bothers me. And that is Rashan Gary, where Goody, it seems so, the combine is weird from a media coverage standpoint. Gutekunst meets with the local media for like 40 minutes, but we don't see all of that. Now, I am important, so I got the transcript. And I'm making a joke when I say I'm important, by the way.
I was going to say, we know. You could have said we, because I'm pretty sure we all.
I think we all got it. Yeah, I think we all got it. But in the transcript, he kind of slips and says, "We'll see if he's back." Right, and that's me not paraphrasing. It's not the direct quote. Despite having the transcript, I'm not reading you the direct quote. But he effectively kind of slips and he says, "We'll see if he's back." And then later at his podium session, which any of the media at the combine can attend, Brian Gutekunst said this about Rashan Gary, and it's a little bit different of phrasing that he used from earlier in the day. Here's Brian Gutekunst yesterday in Indianapolis.
And sometimes with pass rushers, there's an ebb and flow to that, as far as production goes with sacks. But he was impactful towards the second half of the season. Maybe not as much as he was in the first, but he was impactful. And Rashan's got all the talent in the world, and he's produced at a high level for us since he's been here. And we would expect that next year as well.
We would expect that next year as well. The issue is I don't expect that next year because I don't expect 52 to be on the Packers next year. I don't think Josh expects that next year because he doesn't expect 52 to be on the Packers next year. And frankly, it would be malpractice by the general manager to have Rashan Gary on the Packers next year.
I think you stopped short. I don't think he expects Rashan Gary to be back
I don't either. Year. We've seen this a lot with Brian Gutekunst, where he says something at a podium and then a month later he does the exact opposite of what he said. A la Aaron Jones.
I thought Gabe this morning had a great comp. He's doing the Jair thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where that dragged on way too long. It went on so long we started going, wait, is he actually going to be on the team? And I was staunchly no. And then it went so long into the postseason, into the offseason, I said, well, maybe I'm off.
And I just want to remind everybody, if the Packers release Rashan Gary and designate him as a post-June 1st cut, they will save close to $19 million, which would put them then under the salary cap, which they are currently over.
And not to get too detailed, but when you do designate a post-June 1, they technically stay on your books. You do have to be compliant when the league year starts in March, I believe.
Yep.
But you could do other things to get within compliance.
Yeah.
Because they are currently not cap compliant.
No, they are not. But look.
It's insignificant.
We trust the Packers.
Right.
They always find a way in this category. And as we detailed and demonstrated on Monday's episode, Josh better than me, they are going to be able to figure out the cap situation. So but that's not even the point. I just want to mention that because I think it is important for the people that enjoy the numbers and enjoy the cap that it does have a fallout in that category.
They could release him today and still save $11 million.
Right.
That's a significant amount of money.
It's a lot of money.
That's a pretty good player.
It could be Sean Ryan.
Right.
I mean, that's how you could bring Sean Ryan back and still have some money left over. So my point in all of this is to say, number one, I think us as Packers fans, if not have been, are officially over the Rashan Gary thing. And you should be. Because what you witnessed the second half of the season, despite what the general manager said yesterday, was bad for a first-round pick, top 15 paid edge rusher in the National Football League. He had 0 sacks and 0 tackles for loss in the final 10 games of the regular season. And that's extra bad when you lose the guy that is the king of that unit, and Micah Parsons. He goes down, and Rashan Gary does nothing. The last sack Rashan Gary had, or tackle for loss Rashan Gary had, was before Halloween. And it was against the Pittsburgh Steelers when everything was looking fantastic for the Green Bay Packers. And Jordan Love went to Pittsburgh and had one of his best performances of the season. And then obviously the following week is when Tucker Kraft tears his ACL, and it was kind of all downhill from there. But Rashan Gary being on this roster in 2026 would be nothing short of malpractice by the general manager. So despite what he said yesterday in Indianapolis, I don't buy it. He cannot be a Packer in 2026. And maybe a change of scenery will be good for him. We all agree he has the physical tools to be a successful defensive end in the National Football League. But the matter of the fact is, since they drafted him in 2019, that has not been the case. He's shown some flashes here and there, but you do the same thing season after season after season after season, and you have to come to the realization it's not going to work here. Even with a new defensive coordinator and a new scheme in Jonathan Gannon, it's not worth the time, the money, the effort when it comes to Rashan Gary. So that's my takeaway from Brian Gutekunst yesterday on the Rashan Gary debacle.
More than a player, I think that has been clearly on the decline, more than the guy who, when his team needed the most, completely went missing. You could only find him on the side of a milk carton. The lack of effort stuff is something you cannot tell your team is acceptable. Yeah. Those guys see it. They watch film. Micah Parsons said it much. He didn't mention Rashan Gary's name, but he talked about effort. And there was one guy that we all saw throughout the course of the last month of the season and a little bit earlier that clearly had an effort problem, was turning it down, slowing it down. We talked about, the Packers talked about how important it was to them, culture. Are you going to set the culture where 70% is acceptable? A guy who you called not a big snap count guy, when Micah Parsons is out there for as many snaps as humanly possible. Next to him, the next highest paid guy on the defense is going to be a guy that's taking plays off.
Yep.
You just can't. It's untenable. That sort of behavior and what we saw from him. And I'm sure there's stuff that goes on that we don't know that maybe Rashan Gary's not happy with. But it's going to be the reason he doesn't play out his last year with the 2 last years, I believe, with the Green Bay Packers. Because what we saw.
Now, I will say this, because you and I are in agreement. We do not believe Rashan Gary will be a member of the Green Bay Packers in 2026. I do, however, believe that somebody on the show will be rooting for Rashan Gary in 2026. I don't know if it will be Will or Hunter, Will being the Bears fan, Hunter being a Cowboys fan. I think he winds up in one of those two spots. And I don't think that's a crazy take.
Interesting.
It's not because the Bears have been...
They love taking former Packers. The entire division does.
No,
been so bad pass rush the past couple seasons.
That's what I was going to say. It's the pass rush thing, because they're in the Max Crosby sweepstakes.
Yep.
And then you look around and it's Trey Hendrickson, who's overaged.
Yep. He's 32 this year?
Maybe 33 entering this season. And then it's a bunch of guys where you kind of have to squint and do there's probably something there, but that wouldn't be shocking. I don't know, though, if you see that guy in the division and you think, well, we never feared him, why would opponents? Like that might be one of those things where they're too close to it, where they can't be objective. Like, that guy doesn't.
Okay, but then my other point here is Hunter's a Cowboys fan. They trade Micah Parsons. Their pass rush stinks last year. Could Jerry Jones do a Jerry Jones move and sign a guy that's probably overrated and overpaid?
Yes.
And overhyped?
Yes.
Kenny Clark was pretty good for him last year.
He was, but also
Kenny Clark was
we
good.
liked Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny was good. But you're going to trade Kenny Clark 10 times out of 10.
Rashan was good.
I don't know that he was. But Hunter, your thoughts. Rashan Gary wearing the star, I think it makes complete sense.
No, it doesn't, because one,
you're too close.
No,
you're too close.
No, because they're dealing with the George Pickens contract. And with the money, sure, they've got to free up money that way. They're going to take young guys. They're going to draft guys. They really like Donovan Ezeraku, the guy they got from Boston College this last year.
BC.
They're more of a, we want young guys who we hope that because of the D tackles they have can get freed up that way one-on-one. So they're not going to be able to afford Rashan Gary because they have to pay George Pickens.
Was that one of Donovan Ezeraku? That was one of our draft crushes, right? That was one of the. I think I made a really bad "We will rock you" joke at some point. Like that. That seems like it
sounds right.
Most likely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Glad we're all on the same page.
I can't prove it, but it sounds right.
It sounds completely right. All right. One other thing from Goody, and this one's really interesting to me because it seems like 50% of people that have heard this think one way of it and 50% think the other way of it. And I imagine me and Josh are probably representing both 50%. Here is Brian Gutekunst about getting to that next level. This video courtesy and audio courtesy of our buddy Rob Domofsky. talking about getting to that next level and closing out games. It was one of his opening statements at the NFL Combine yesterday. Again, the Packers general manager, Brian Gutekunst.
Yeah, I think, we've talked a lot about this, our ability to be more consistent in situational football and finishing off games. A number of our games the past couple of years, we've been up in the games and just not been able to close them out. And our group's got to get to that point, So I think we're on our way there. I really like the guys in our locker room, and I like the makeup of our team. But that's an area that we have to fix.
Two ways to look at this from Brian Gutekunst. The first is, of course, what you just heard there towards the end. I really like the guys in that locker room, but we haven't been able to finish. So that's him saying, I gave you the right pieces. You didn't execute with them. That's one way to look at what he said there. The other way to look at what he said there was, we're not grown up enough. We are not a mature enough football team to close out football games correctly, and that's him taking blame. And that's actually the way I view it. I view that as Brian Gutekunst, believe it or not, being the hand up, kind of on me guy, saying, yeah, I like the guys in the locker room, but they've got some maturing and growing up to do. And obviously advancing to another season helps them, right? Rookies become second-year guys, second-year guys become third-year guys. I view that as a Brian Gutekunst admission that maybe being the youngest team in the NFL for a third year in a row has its shortcomings, and it was proven once again wild card weekend in Chicago.
I think the only way you can believe your side of that is if you don't pay attention to what he said in the previous press conference, nor do you listen to the words that were said about Matthew Golden. I think
that one, I do think he takes a little shot at LaFleur when he talks about Matthew Golden. But that one, I didn't view that as a shot at LaFleur, which it seems about 50% of the fan base believes that was a shot at LaFleur, and I assume that's where you land.
Yeah, when you talk about finishing you talk about coaching and how do you get there, and that was the thing we talked about most consistently about Matt LaFleur this season, was his decision making, and a lot of times in the second half, and how he affected the outcome of games negatively.
Sure.
I think now we also have to run this through the lens of neither of these guys are each other's boss. Neither of these guys are able to make decisions on what the other guy's supposed to be doing. What we saw in Buffalo, see ya, head coach, all of a sudden, GM gets a promotion. What I think is happening is he's making it as clear as possible. I'm sure he's doing it privately to head policy as well, of the pieces are here. I went and got Micah freaking Parsons. We were up in that game 21-3. What more would we need from these guys that isn't something to do with their coaching? Now, I'm predisposed to believe that because I'm so down on Matt LaFleur. I was petitioning for him to be fired.
Yes, you are.
But I don't understand how you can hear that and hear it any other way. Like, I know I understand the point you're making, but I don't think Goody believes that because they're not going to not be the youngest team anymore.
But again,
so like he's not going to change his behavior. So why would he be admitting fault if he's not going to change the things that would be at fault? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I'm picking up what you're putting down for sure. And I think it's a reasonable way to look at what we just heard from Brian Gutekunst. The reason I'm viewing it the way I am is, number one, because I'm delusional. No, but no, number one is because
5%.
Because I don't think Matt LaFleur is back as the head coach if Brian Gutekunst staunchly believed it's all his fault.
I don't think. I don't think Brian Gutekunst gets asked.
Oh, see, I disagree with you. Because I think if I asked you this, let me phrase it to you this way, and then we can land on it. Do you believe it was more certain that Brian Gutekunst or Matt LaFleur got a contract extension this offseason?
I think it was more certain Brian Gutekunst, but there's two big reasons why: franchise quarterback and Micah Parsons.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not disagreeing that he was more deserving.
Right.
But I think when you land, and if I'm at policy, for example, and you land on the fact that Brian Gutekunst is deserving of this contract extension, and I also believe that Matt LaFleur is a good head coach and he deserves an extension, but there's still some pause and some thought that goes into that, I'm probably making Brian Gutekunst my right-hand man because he is the true decision maker. While he's not LaFleur's boss, that is the guy that puts those players on the field and in the locker room. And there is enough blame to go around with the collapse in Chicago. Yes, coaching. Yes, player execution. Both of those exist. And that's why I hate to take the stance, but I will. I have to defend Matt LaFleur a little bit. Because I do believe he has issues with game management. I do. I mean, I think we have enough proof to decide, yes, sometimes, occasionally.
Proof is in the pudding.
And maybe he can outgrow that. I'm still holding out hope because I do think he's a really good head football coach.
Year 9.
Yeah, I know. But I believe it's only year 8. It's year 9 for Goody. I do believe he can outgrow it. But the other part of it is you look at when Ed Policy is making the decision on extensions. I think they're allowed to, voice their opinion. And I think if Brian Gutekunst so staunchly believed, this is 100% a Matt LaFleur problem and a 0% player problem, I don't think Matt LaFleur is employed. I truly don't.
I think if that were the case, then they would, if that conversation was had and Brian Gutekunst was staunchly against him, they fire him, make the structure how it used to be with Ed Policy at the top, and then down to Goody, and then down to the head coach. I think that changes because I don't think
you can do it if you're keeping him though.
No, I'm saying if you're looking at, do we retain Matt LaFleur, keep the structure is, and have the, I don't want to call it animosity, acrimony, whatever.
It's not a harmonious relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like they're enemies.
No.
But they very clearly don't see eye to eye on stuff.
On everything.
Right.
Like they see eye to eye on some things.
Right.
Trading for Micah Parsons happens to be one of those.
Yes. But I think, well, also, if we remember, I believe there was a reporter close to us saying that there was some trepidation shown by some important people about getting rid of Kenny Clark.
Yeah, but that I always kind of took that as Mark Murphy.
No. It's the head coach.
You okay over there?
My headphones went deaf.
All right, hold on. I know Hunter wants to get in, but I'm making a recommendation. Not a recommendation. I'm making a requirement. The next time both Will and Hunter speak, they have to use the word staunchly, which we have thrown around a lot today. Hunter, I know you wanted to jump in. Get on in here.
Okay. Staunchly. If Matt and Brian are so staunchly against each other,
nice.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Are we closer to a separation of them? Since it's not like, I wouldn't almost call it a marriage, so I don't know about a divorce, but I think we're closer to a separation maybe than we really think we are.
That's the side I've thought when I first heard this.
Yes.
You're making what's happening right now is I think everyone realizes if we have a year that was last year, somebody's gone.
Yeah, I agree. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with you on that.
And they're starting to maneuver into who's going to be there.
Here's the point, though, and I think this is the point of the offseason we're in, is everybody's still reveling in losing to your rival the way you did. Everybody's still pissed off about it. Everybody's still upset about it, rightfully so. And I don't think you get over that until the season starts. But as is the ultimate unifier for organizations in sports, any sport, winning cures everything. If they go out and they're the best team in the NFC next year, I think that Goody and LaFleur relationship is steadily improved. Right?
Yeah,
yes,
right.
exactly.
Best buds.
Winning
both
cures
geniuses.
Everything. Exactly.
Right. I think, though, if we have finishes like we've seen in their era together, the disappointing we didn't make it far enough losses, I think there's heads on the chopping block, and I think each of them are going to maneuver in their own ways to try and say, it's not my fault, it's his fault. Because you would have...
And you sense that's already beginning.
Yes. And I thought this was happening in the past, towards the end of the Aaron Rodgers era.
Sure.
And I think once they got the blessing from Mark Murphy of, hey, we're going to keep this together, we're going to keep this going, we think we got it here, there was outside factors or factors that are no longer here that probably played a big part into what happened in this room. I'm not saying specifically Aaron Rodgers, but the way we ran the team, the way we did things we didn't want to with keeping older guys, and I think they all agreed, and it was a happy marriage then because we had no expectations. We were building something. We were seeing the new quarterback, and Goody gets a credit for drafting him, but Matt LaFleur gets a credit for Jordan Love exceeding expectations.
Absolutely.
So that was all happy-go-lucky. And now you lose this way, and you start going, uh-oh. That's the part of the NFL that I don't think people factor in enough is it's you or me a lot of times.
Yeah,
sometimes
totally.
It's both of us.
Yeah.
But you're going to angle for it to be you and not me as much as you can. And if you go back and listen to the way Goody used to talk, or Matt LaFleur, he would say it a lot. Oh, I don't make player decisions. That's not on me. that stuff's gone away, and now it's circling back in, making its way back in. If you don't think Matt LaFleur is going to have some sort of something to say the next time he gets, I mean, he heard those comments. He knows.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And he knows that even if you didn't mean it that way, a portion of the fan base took it that way.
I'm going to be really curious to see what the next couple of weeks bring with free agency, right? And it's up to Goody, right? That's why he's at the combine. Obviously, they do not have a first-round pick 50 to the Packers first when it comes to the draft later
what better time
this
to
year.
throw someone under the bus and blame them for your losses
When
than
they're
when they're
not
not even there?
Yeah, when they're not there. Absolutely. All right, Will, I don't know if you have anything to add, but I do want you to add something because I want you to use the word staunchly. Go ahead.
I kind of wanted to wait until the next segment where we're talking about Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur. I was staunchly committed to waiting until the next segment.
Okay, got
Nicely
it. Well,
done.
let's go to the next segment. Josh, just real quick, honesty hour. Did you feed him that line?
No.
He just told me to say the word staunchly.
Yeah, I wanted him
and
to finish his sentence, just say what he's going to say, and then just say staunchly at the end.
I would have allowed that for the record.
Yeah.
I would have allowed that.
Just tack it on. If you don't know what to say, just say
You
staunchly.
didn't tell me to use it correctly. You just told me to
No,
say
I
it.
just said say it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Staunchly.
Staunch loophole.
Yeah.
Staunch loophole. All right, let's move on to this because the NFL training combine, it's kind of like a tempered down version of Radio Row, where you hear from a lot of the NFL figureheads. And what better place than Indiana for Ben Johnson to be hanging out, his new home state, at the NFL training combine in Indianapolis? That's a shot, Will. You're allowed to respond.
I mean, Indiana's a championship-winning football state. Keep them coming.
It's a great point. It's a great point by you. Have you been to Hammond?
I've been to Gary. There's a stadium, the Gary Railcats play there. So growing
hold
up,
on.
there's a lot of baseball tournaments.
Damn it! I was gonna say, let me guess the sport.
It's definitely like is it like a semi-pro minor league?
Yeah, we played there very staunchly.
Not quite.
It's independent league baseball.
Yeah.
Got it. Ben Johnson joins Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk. I got to be honest. I've never really listened to Mike Florio.
You shouldn't.
He talks really fast, and I talk fast.
If you're looking for some great conspiracy theories that I guarantee you'll never ever think of on your own, read Mike Florio's articles.
That's true. I do read him occasionally. I've just never really watched Pro Football Talk until this circled.
He was the one that started like the movement of the Bengals moving to Chicago, or the Bengals and the Bears sharing a stadium in
In the
Indianapolis.
same way that people will say I can't be objective about Aaron Rodgers, if it's anything Packers related, you can't listen. He's a Vikings fan, first of all.
Oh, is he? I didn't know.
Yes. And his whole thing is well, let's also be honest here. You talk about the Packers, we all are going to look at it. And there is a dedicated fan base that is 24/7 addicted to it. So he loves to poke the bear, and he's damn good at it.
24/7 addicted to it. Are you referring to our MIA, our dear precious MIA?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably fair. At least about 80% of them fall into that category, including us, for the record. We also fall into that category. Ben Johnson joins Mike Florio as Florio asks him, "What's going on with you and the Packers?"
What is the deal with the Packers?
Who likes the Packers?
How much of that is leaning fully into your job as Bears coach, and how much of it is how you truly feel?
Yeah, I mean, the Bears and the Packers, they should not like each other. I think it's as simple as that. And I think that's going to make this rivalry, this game, something that people are going to watch here going forward.
Have you talked to Matt LaFleur at all? Because I feel like he gets confused. Like, what did I do? Do you have any relationship with him? Have you heard from him? Has he called you up and he said, what's the deal? Like anything like that?
No, we don't talk.
Dare I say, I absolutely love this from Ben Johnson. This is the first thing I've ever liked from this cornball. Not good, better, best, not taking a shirt off for free hot dogs, but the Bears and Packers shouldn't like each other. And this probably comes off a lot more douchey if they didn't win that playoff game and if they didn't win the NFC North this year. But I got to say, when I heard this, I went, I fully agree with Ben Johnson.
It's the perfect spot for him to have this. They won the last two in the way they did. They knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. Why would he not double and triple down? The problem is Ben Johnson wants to have a rivalry. Packers fans want us to have a rivalry and wants Matt LaFleur to hate him. Matt LaFleur just seems disinterested.
He is disinterested. He's just about ball. Where I think Ben Johnson may have been a theater kid. He likes the theatrics
I think when you're talking about like sending messages to your team and sort of all being a team that has the attitude that Ben Johnson doesn't lose in the playoffs the way the Packers did.
I don't know. It's hard to say, but I like the opinion. Well, I don't like the opinion, but I hear the opinion. Here's the thing. Packers are going back to the top of the North next year. They're going to whip that Bears ass twice next year, and everything's going to be all back to normal. I feel very confident about that.
How?
Because I think the Bears are not going to be nearly as good as they were this year.
I don't think that matters. I think even if the Bears are worse, Matt LaFleur is going to turtle up.
He's not
turtle
turtle
boy.
Up. He's not.
A little turtle.
Did you see him talking? I mean, this is like the best 2-week stretch in a period of time where NFL head coaches aren't speaking on a weekly basis. I've gotten first a horrible speech from Matt LaFleur to the Wisconsin men's basketball team. And
I thought we were striking that from the record.
Ben Johnson is just staunchly asserting his dominance over Matt LaFleur.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just see here.
Well, not nice, but nice use of staunchly.
Here's the thing: this comes off better, Matt LaFleur ignoring it. If they still had, you guys have won 3 out of the last 4.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So you could be above it, and we don't pay attention to that if you win. Being we're above it. I mean, we're told that here in our jobs. If somebody says something about you, they work for a different station, a different publication, just ignore it. You don't have to stoop to their level. That only works insofar as you're more successful. If we're getting our ass beat, I don't know, show some passion. Give me something.
So if Pat McAfee takes a swipe at Joshy D,
right,
he's biting back.
Right.
Yeah.
You might as well. I mean,
right. It's good for me.
What are the odds that he's going to see it?
It's true.
I did see some like stand-up comedian on Instagram the other day just making a joke into the void about Josh Dobbs, and it had like 100 views, and Josh Dobbs commented on it. And it was like, what the hell? So maybe you will see it.
Josh Dobbs is the what was his degree in college?
It's like an aerospace.
NASA. Yeah.
It was NASA. That was his college degree.
Yeah. He staunchly majored in NASA.
Levi chimes in on YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee. I do agree with Ben Johnson. Packers and Bears should hate each other's guts, and Matt LaFleur is so soft for not publicly hating the Bears. He should know that the Packers hate the Bears. I think he knows.
I think his players want him to hate him. I think his fans want him to hate him, and he's just unwilling to go down that road.
I truly believe that Matt LaFleur tries to epitomize just being about ball, and I don't know that it's working anymore.
No.
we need an attitude change.
For Matt LaFleur, though, he could also just kind of know the type of person he is, and if he tried to fake this, people would be able to sniff it out right away. So I kind of appreciate that he's like, I know what I am. I know who I am. I'm not going to try and be something I'm not just because it's going to make the fan base happy. So I kind of appreciate it from Matt LaFleur. Be your weird, soft self.
Well, hold on. I would say this, though, because I appreciate you saying just be yourself. I get that, and in terms of like everyday life, I am a proponent of just be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. However, when you are on such a public stage like Matt LaFleur is, and Ben Johnson is clearly pulling out the theatrics, I'm not saying be Ben Johnson. That's not what I'm trying to say. Don't act like Ben Johnson. You don't need to talk about the Bears or answer questions about the Bears with I hate the Bears, we hate the Bears, yada, yada. That's not what I need. But I need a little bit more of an attitude from Matt LaFleur. I mentioned theatrics and I mentioned dramatics, right? Because the NFL does have that and does need that because it's athletes and coaches and
it's an
egos.
Entertainment product.
Correct. So what we need in 2026 from Matt LaFleur is a good old-fashioned heel turn, WWE style. We need Matt LaFleur to be the bad guy. We kind of started to see a little bit of that in 2025. He was a little bit more snippy, a little bit more edgy, or at least attempted to be in press conferences. He needs to go full-on Richard mode.
Scared money don't make money.
Turn. That's true.
Right.
He did say that.
And even if he needs to like lash out at media members.
Yeah, give Jason Wilde a little bit of
say,
dust
hey,
up.
sorry, I was doing a thing.
Yeah, just pull him aside.
Just don't embarrass him.
Like the
Why are you
Lions
always
game
trying
when
to
he
stir
like
stuff
admitted
up, Jason?
basically.
Yeah, exactly.
When Lions game when he admitted he didn't get the timeout off. Like that was funny. That was a good Matt LaFleur moment.
Also, just you can say they want hatred. Well, you've got hatred. You could do it in a way where you don't have to be the rah. Like, he wants me to hate him. Guess what? I do now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mentioned the WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair is coming to Milwaukee for a special edition, the 4th ever Thanalysis Live, which will happen right up the street from where we are at the Riverside Theater. Coming up March 27th, it's a 7 p.m. start at the Riverside Theater. Ric Flair sitting down for an in-depth conversation. This is not just a 5-minute interview. This is a full-blown production. TA's got all sorts of tricks up his sleeve. These events are so damn fun. I've been to each of the 2 that have happened in Milwaukee. I was not at the one in Athens, Greece, admittedly. The
Fake
one
fan.
That did that. Yeah, fake Thanalysis fan, no doubt. But Thanalysis Live is such a treat, and it is such a cool thing that we have here in Milwaukee. And we want to see you there, March 27th, 7 p.m. at the Riverside Theater. That is a Friday night at the Riverside. And if you've never been in that venue, awesome venue. Seen a few concerts in there. It's a really cool venue if you've never been there. Ric Flair will be there, and again, there will be surprise guests. There will be other things. I can tell you that much. I can't tell you anything more because I am told not to. TALiveshow.com. I can tell you those where you get your tickets. TALiveshow.com is where you can get your ticket to see Thanasis Antetokounmpo with the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing son of a gun. Ric Flair, my guy. I wonder if he's going to bleed. I don't know if you guys ever watched Ric Flair in the WWE. He's got yellow, whitish hair. And when he bled, his entire hair would become red. It was so cool. When I was growing up and he was kind of in his last run with the WWE, he loved to bleed. He's a crazy person. And by the way, if you haven't watched the 30 for 30 documentary on him, highly recommend.
You're not going to do the
let's
woo?
get to this.
When you were,
Josh told me he hates when people do the woo, so I'm not going to do the woo.
I hate
out of respect
when
to Josh.
people do it if they don't commit. You got a full
You
commit.
gotta be all in.
All right, here we go.
Can't half.
I'm going to do the Flair walk up to the microphone. Woo! Da, da, da,
5.
da, da, woo!
You spent time talking about the Riverside Theater, and I was just trying to go through my head of all the groups I've seen there over my 20-year history.
Yeah, many more than me.
Yeah, and I wasn't like to say, I've seen more than you. It's like the variety of music I've seen there is crazy. And just think that goes back to when my grandpa was alive.
When did your grandpa die?
Well, I'm saying when he was a kid. This is the way
You said when he
He's
was alive. He is currently alive,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
I was going to say, did I miss something?
When he was young. He's told me about going to see...
He was alive.
He's going to
crazy way.
see...
He just killed off his grandpa.
Crazy way to phrase it.
When he's seen bands in the 60s.
Huh. Interesting. All right. Well, let's just move on from Josh killing off his grandpa. That was insane.
Saw Maggie Rogers there once. Shortly after Widespread Panic. Dark Star Orchestra.
All right, that's enough. I want to hear your
Bon Iver.
These sound like concerts you would make up conspiracy theories. And it sounds like you have a little bit of a theory. I don't know that I'd call it a conspiracy when it comes to this tickets news before we get to One More Wednesday and a couple other things.
What are you showing me here?
Nothing. I'm just moving it so I can see you better. So the Green Bay Packers announced again earlier this week that they are going to take season tickets away from people that sell all their tickets. I don't think any of us have an issue with that on the surface. But then Aaron Popke, and I don't have this audio, I apologize, Hunter, joined Wilde and Tausch, and you said something he said and something that was in the release set off your alarms. I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on the idea of Packers taking away tickets from season ticket holders who sell all of their tickets.
Yeah, the part of the story, because this news became aware to the public. It had existed, the rule of if you sell your tickets for every single game for multiple years, the Packers are going to take them away from you. We did hear cases of people saying hey, my father was in hospice and I had to be his caretaker. I was in California. I did not have time nor money to make it back there, but, not to be morbid, he's not going to live forever, and I'd still like to have my tickets at the end. Right. Because I will go back to Wisconsin, and I will have the ability to then do.
Sure.
But I do understand in general, and I believe there was a process of you could say, hey, here's XYZ circumstance. I would appreciate the ability to, maintain my tickets. The part that stunk to me is now the language is getting harsher, more direct, and Aaron Popke went on to Wilde and Tausch and seemed to have moved the goalposts even further away from we're going to take your season tickets away if you're selling every game for multiple years to we can kind of do it whenever we really want. And we are able to make the decision based on he wasn't clear and direct about the multiple years of selling every single ticket and never attending a game. And that to me is troublesome. And it's troublesome for a couple of reasons, because I think the Green Bay Packers are in a unique position as a community-owned organization. They were kept alive and exist in Green Bay still because of the fan base, because of the money they gave, their attendance in the seats, this buying of the stocks. And I think we are as far as we've possibly could be from the Bob Harlan era and the community-owned aspect as we've ever been before. And I don't trust the same people who are trying to shrink out on their rent that they owe the city of Green Bay. I don't trust them to continue to do right by the fans in a way that is meaningful and sets us apart from every other franchise. And I think at some point here, there needs to be a reckoning of, yes, we understand you're going to make money. We understand that's the whole point. You need to make money to stay afloat, to keep the organization, to keep things nice in Lambeau Field. But I don't buy the fact that they're trying to sell if we want to see more Green Bay Packers and we don't want opponents' fans in the stadium. I don't think that's the only reason. Sure, is that a nice added inclusion? But I don't think they're like other people making money off of tickets they think belong to them. He also said at the start of that, you don't own those tickets or those seats. We sell those to you. And actually, we don't have a seat license. We have a subscription fee or a user fee. Yes, it costs $10,000. And to me, it sounded like someone who was very unaware of what it means to be the Green Bay Packers.
Sure.
And what it means to be a community-based team.
Interesting.
And every single year we get further and further from. They've raised ticket prices every single year.
Yes, but every other NFL team does too.
No, they don't. Not everyone. And they don't have the concession prices as expensive as the Green Bay Packers.
That's true. That part's very true.
If you correct by the average income of the communities they're in and all that, the Packers are like sky high in those numbers.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. But
Green Bay's different than these other markets. If you want to be in San Francisco and charge out the butt and set the prices at extreme prices, that's okay. That's a giant city.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people here. But the Green Bay Packers pull people from all around the state. Mm-hmm. They have season tickets that go to people from Milwaukee because moving the Packers to County Stadium saved the Packers.
Yeah.
And they're not doing right by their fans. And that to me is very frustrating.
I hear you. I think everything you said is fair. I think Will was sitting back there and dozing off because I think it boils down to just this for Will when he saw this news. Packers are scared of the Bears, right?
Yeah. People don't want to go see them. They think they're a dying franchise. They can't win at home anymore.
The thing that makes it so interesting, too, is the Packers aren't the Bears and they don't play in Soldier Field. Nobody's bucket list is to go see their favorite team play the Packers in Soldier Field. It's Lambeau Field.
Right.
They've turned it into a tourist destination.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame is included as part of it. The tours, you see as many Packers fans as any other team when you see them walk by you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You've made this metropolis. You've done a great job of making it into a destination of a place people want to go, where you can do more than just go to a football game. And then you're going to get mad when those same people you've been attracting and trying to take their dollars end up in your seats. Which that doesn't.
It is a little hypocritical, but right. I guess so. I guess you seem worried that the revocation language is changing and evolving. Meaning, what do you think the worst possible scenario end game is? It's just like, okay, no more season tickets.
No, if you sell your tickets, you don't have the ability to retain them next year.
Any game.
If there is sale made,
yeah, I don't think we're going to get
sure,
that.
But the sliding scale of what if I sell 3 out of my 4? Do I still have them? It's not cheap to go there.
No, and that's why people try to make money up on it. Right,
because they're trying to offset the ever-increasing cost. I don't know if you knew this about the world. Things are getting more expensive and our wages aren't increasing.
Haven't noticed. Haven't looked at my bank account in a while.
So yeah, things aren't great for a lot of people, and they're scrapping and doing their absolute most, by and large.
Well, speak for yourself. Things are going well for Will.
You hit the lottery?
What's that?
Are you saying like money-wise?
Yeah, financially.
Definitely not.
You're in a great spot.
On what account?
Checking, savings.
Yeah, what banking account and what evidence do you have to say that?
It's just
We lose every parlay.
1-800-GAMBLER.
to not look around and be like, what if we froze ticket price? Imagine the goodwill freezing ticket prices for a season would do.
It would be a lot of good PR.
Like immense amounts. Is it going to offset the costs that you're losing by not rising the prices?
Well, my biggest problem with this news release was they cited home field advantage.
Yes, it's not true.
The Packers are what, 21-13 since 2022. They're 8 games over 500 at home. 21-13. That would be 34 home games. 21-13.
As a fan of a team that is well outside of just like, oh, I can hop up to, Green Bay to go see, like Sarah and I went to my first Cowboys game because a season ticket holder sold his seats. He just happened to sell them to me, and I happened to be a Cowboys fan. But it was an Eagles game, and there was probably a quarter of the stadium were Eagles fans. Still sounded like a Cowboys home game. Like, you couldn't tell other than the Kelly Green in the stands. So it's really, when it comes to the home field advantage, it's on the fans that are actually there in the stands, actually being locked in on a game and being into it and making it a home field advantage, if you care about that. The issue with the freezing the prices, though...
What?
Because the Cowboys, I was looking back on this because I remember this being a big deal within the fan base. They hadn't raised ticket prices from 2016 until 2022, and it was a huge deal when the Cowboys did that. So the issue, if you don't raise them a little bit every year, is you do run into a giant bad year of PR
bump, right?
And then all of a sudden, then people are like, "Oh, okay, this is back to normal," and they haven't raised them since 22.
I'm not suggesting they do a 6 to 8 year freeze. I'm saying
do 1 year.
If you raise ticket prices every once or twice every 3 years, that probably goes a long way.
I just wanted to make noticed.
Also, when it comes to the Cowboys, I think Hunter understands. Jerry Jones is the owner. He's gonna nickel and dime you.
He's money
gonna
hungry.
hit you up for everything you got.
Money hungry fella, no doubt.
He's on the level. He understands it. Me, I'm saying, wait, but we're the Green Bay freaking Packers. We are like no one else in professional sports.
That's true.
Is there nothing that giving you our hard-earned money and that piece of paper earns me other than saying I'm a Packers owner? Is that it?
Maddie chimes in. The problem is the season ticket holders for the Packers are aging. Then they don't want you standing and yelling and cheering. And I have run into this.
Of course.
Luckily, I went to, I think, 3 games this past year, and luckily I stood the whole game for all 3 of them.
This has happened to me at Brewers games. This has happened to me at concerts.
Marquette games are the worst.
It's everywhere.
Marquette games are the worst.
It has nothing to do with the aging audience. It has to do with people not being able to deal with one another.
Well, I think it's also the people that are able to actually afford to go to games regularly are of a certain age, and then they don't like Sarah and I went to Wisconsin Marquette at Pfizer. It was a big deal for us to go. It was like the one Marquette game we went to that year. I stood up in overtime of that game and had some olds behind me get upset. Yeah. Because they're like, we go to every game, we want to be able to see. I'm like, great, man. This is the one game I'm going to get to go to this year. I'm into this game. So the olds the olds are ridiculous. I hate that. It's bad at the Kohl Center. It's bad everywhere. Right. If you're near anyone that's a season ticket holder, they're awful.
Also, is there young people behind you that can see over you? Parents have gotten mad at people for standing at venues too. They're not just old; they're actually pretty young.
We need a solution to that, but that's not what we're going to figure out right now. What we're going to figure out is how to answer all the topics we've missed this week with one word. We do this each and every Wednesday. It is time now for One Word Wednesday, where Will, Josh, and I react to all of Hunter's topics with one word or less, sometimes more. Here we go. One Word Wednesday time.
All right, we're going to start in the NBA with the Milwaukee Bucks. They've won 7 of their last 10 games.
Back.
What was it again? Sorry.
Bucks have won 7 of the last.
Thanks for listening.
Wah, wah, wah. What does it matter? The season's dead.
Play in.
That is hyphenated.
I
Nicely
do
done.
have financial incentive for them to make the play-in because they were plus 1,000 to be in the play-in at one point, and now
the play-in or the playoffs?
Play-in.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Specifically
Plus 10,000.
plus 1,000.
Oh okay. How much you throw on that?
A little change. There might be another thing in there. Brewers win the division as well, but
Oh, it's a little parlay.
Why are you wager watching?
yeah.
I'm just curious how much he's going to win.
Plus 1,000.
They're only a
Hell
game
even
and a half
dollar.
out.
You're like, well, $10.
Next, in college basketball, we've got some video here from NBC and Peacock. Nigel James from Marquette had an incredible dunk last night.
I saw this.
No audio on this.
Dude, yeah, he number 3 on SportsCenter only, huh?
Yeah, which is a little disappointing.
Yeah. Look, nice win by Marquette. Those jerseys were sick. Have they worn those on the road all season?
No, and they've won every game that they've worn those jerseys. They might have lost one game, but they're like 5-1 when they wear those, and they have 10 wins all year.
I am going to go with the word electric.
I'm going to go MJ because I heard Homer compare it to Michael Jordan in the highlight.
I'm going to go Hammer. Another homerism. Launch and hammer. That's what he says on the big dunk.
So real quick.
Is he going to be at Marquette next year?
I hope so.
I think they're going to throw everything.
Yeah.
They're gonna throw
If I were them, I would.
Could he go to the NBA?
That's what I'm concerned sometimes that he's playing too well.
I don't
Like,
think.
come on, dude.
I don't think. He might go to the. What do they call that? John Blackwell did it last year. So like the combine, you sign an agent, you kind of work out, and then you figure out where you're at. Maybe
He's also like a very undersized guard, so I don't know how well he
he's pretty
projects
small.
to play in the NBA.
I would love to see John Blackwell and Nigel James Jr. both back in the state next year because that matchup, final one for John Blackwell, and next year it will be where? Will be at Pfizer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Next year it's home.
So I know Shaka is anti the portal.
Not anymore.
But has he instilled that? Oh, yeah, that's true.
Can't be
He's changed
anymore.
it. Has he instilled that in his players enough where, do we think Marquette could compete with, say, like a Duke?
I haven't looked at
I
Duke's
think that's
recruiting
unlikely.
class. I wonder if Duke is more like, nah, we can go get a guy that'll be here for a year and then be a lottery pick. The stuff I've seen around it, and I know Will's more locked in on this because I've kind of given up on Marquette this year. It sounds like they may target a veteran, like 2-guard to go with him, kind of a thing, and kind of tell him like, hey, we're going to give you more money and we're going to get you a veteran to work with you and play alongside you.
Can I just tell you something that makes me sad? Is my boy Chase Ross.
Oof.
What happened to him?
He hurt his shoulder last night, too. I believe he came back into the game, but we went down. It looked a little nasty, but it's just tough for him because I think he's played. I know no one wants to hear about this, but he's played in such a fourth guy in the rotation, and then he was expected to be the one out of nowhere. And I just don't think his play style was cut out to do that.
Fair enough. All right, what's next?
This one is specifically for Will, this news report from a Fox station.
Forget girl dinner. Men are now eating like dogs, literally. The viral boy kibble trend is taking over social media, and it's really simple. Ground beef and rice bowls. No frills, no fancy plating, just pure protein-packed fuel. Fitness fans say that they chow down up to 7 times a week to save money and pack on gains. Plus, it's cheap and easy. Some call it efficient, others call it sad, but nutritionists are saying it's probably a good idea to add some veggies to your boy kibble. So does it...
I got a phrase for this. Never wrong, just early.
Wait, wouldn't I be the right one here since I was the one telling you, begging you to put rice?
But now it's a thing. It's
Boy
a phenomenon.
kibble?
I started a phenomenon.
Hold on.
All this is
Boy kibble.
All this is
You missed the part where she was talking about gains.
Yeah,
Cheap gains.
that's what I was to say. This is meal prepping, and it's the easiest, cheapest version to get your macros into the right spot.
Some people call it efficient. Other people call it sad, she said.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, just depends what you're after. Depends what your goals are.
So your phrase is what?
As the
Never wrong, just
never
early?
wrong, just early.
A lot of Will's culinary decisions amount to slop bowls. It's just a bunch of mushy things thrown together.
A lot
and
of
we pound
protein.
it.
I love a good slop bowl. I'll give free advertising. Kava, the best one out of all of them.
Boy kibble.
Millennial slop bowls.
Boy
Yep.
kibble.
They're electric. Speaking
My
of
word is
electric,
gains.
Tyler Black went off for the Brewers yesterday in their win over the A's. 3 for 3, 2 runs, 6 RBIs, including a 373-foot home run.
Yeah, look, things are looking up for old Tyler Black. I'm curious to see, is there a potential he is the third baseman come opening day?
I have no way of knowing. They've got 0 third basemen and about 14 guys that could potentially play there.
Yeah, and he's one of them. But nice. Yeah. My word for him is third.
ESPN released like they were ranking like the best lineups in the MLB, and Luis Rengifo projected
I did
to play
see
third.
that as well.
Also gave the Brewers an F in power at one of the more home run friendly ballparks.
Well, I think if you were to take each individual and look at,
they do lack a little bit of power.
yes,
I mean, they lacked power last year.
They got Jackson Chourio.
they did, and then they got spanked up and down.
Weren't they like 26th in the league in home runs?
If only they had a chance, or there was a window of opportunity where teams are looking to actively trade players that could hit power.
Or if only they had a certain middle infielder who hit for power and then left for San Francisco. It would have been great if he stuck around.
Well, that's different.
That's
Joey
true.
Ortiz was arguably an upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't know that was much of an argument, actually.
I don't know if
A lot of upside.
I don't know if I'm so convinced by that.
My word's revenge. Tyler Black is a Canadian. I saw videos in the locker room of him watching the gold medal game. He was a little devastated. So this was a revenge game. Take out all of his anger.
Sure. I like that. All right. What else we got?
Last one with the NFL Combine being this week. What is your favorite drill to watch? Not one that Strouf will be doing.
Well, I do this one, but it is my favorite to watch. It's the 40-yard dash. I like how NFL Network does like the overlays when big men go, and they compare them to other big men, and they're like kind of transparent, but not fully, and you can kind of see where they're at.
They'll be opaque.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, opaque maybe, a little Mario Kart style. So 40 is my one word.
I like the gauntlet just because somebody has the ball bounce off their face every year.
True. Gauntlet is his word.
I was going to say the gauntlet too. And Strouf, you said you do the 40-yard dash. I feel like in order to dash, you have to be like somewhat running fast. So I don't think you can say that you do the 40-yard dash.
6.0 is the target. 6.0 is the target.
You do the 40-yard jog.
6.0 is the target.
That's your target?
I was over 6 last year. Yeah, 6.0.
Get
Sub
better.
6. Sub 6.
Better every day. You should know this game.
What have you done in the past year that makes you think that any of your metrics will be improved?
Wait, let me guess.
Well,
I know what he's going to say. He's only had one Mountain Dew this year.
I have only had one Mountain Dew in 2026. That's true.
Like, did you run on the beach at all on vacation?
I
didn't.
didn't.
Okay.
Oh, you could have gotten the resistance from the sand. That's a missed opportunity.
Well, I was at Sanibel Island, so it's like crushed shells everywhere.
You also have a
Then you're
very
just
high
soft.
chance of hurting yourself.
That's true. I could have really toughened up these footsies.
You know how easy it is to run on the ground after you run on shells?
All right, it's the next thing on a rundown, so let's just get to it. Tomorrow will be the second annual Mr. Relevant Combine. 10 a.m. tomorrow is when this will go down. I will be running the 3-cone. I will be doing the high jump. I will be doing a 40-yard dash, and KBN is requiring me to at least attempt the bench press. Now,
how much?
Brad Nortman said, any grown man with self-respect should be able to lift 135 pounds.
I think that's accurate. That's fair.
135,
Yeah.
I'm nervous about
I would be surprised if you can't
I could do that for
135.
like 10.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know the last time
10
I
to
bench pressed.
12.
I don't know the last
Could
time I
you
bench.
count on 2 hands how many times you've done the bench press?
Oh no. I used to work out every day when I was in
Okay.
like a freshman, sophomore, or junior in high school.
Trying to get gains.
Yeah, trying to get games.
Were you eating the boy kibble?
Everybody's chiming in. Will this be live or on tape delay? It will be. The irrelevant combine will be on tape delay.
We have to, in potential of any drastic injury.
You can't live stream it.
Yeah.
And also,
Too much
we have a
liability
couple
there.
different and we also have a couple different locations for where this
And
goes
you might
down,
think
so.
we've got everything figured out here and we're running a nice clean operation.
Yeah, that's not true.
It's fly by the seat of our pants.
So I don't know if Joshy will even be there. I don't know if Will will be there. I know Brad Nortman will be there. I know Ben Brust will be there. I believe Kyle Wallace will be there. And I know Madison Hayes 24 will be there.
I'll be there.
Are you worried at all about the potential of getting worse?
I'm not worried about it. I think
You
that
should be.
could certainly happen.
That should be expected. You've only gotten older. Like, that's the only thing
Yeah,
that's
but
changed
the
between now.
thing you're forgetting is I'm in my physical prime. I'm in my
Okay,
physical
you need to
were
stop
last year,
with
Where were
this.
you last year?
Well, no. Why would I stop at that? I'm 27 years old. That's about your physical peak.
That's for someone that is also actively active.
Late 20s to early 30s is your
for
physical
somebody
peak.
who doesn't have 17 after work beers during the course of a week.
Whoa.
There's also no way that's true. Is that like a known statistic that your late 20s is your
They
physical
looked it up on
prime?
KBN
Yeah, look it
yesterday.
up. Physical peak, yeah. Physical peak.
I was gonna say,
way.
it's typically like 26 to 30 is typically considered the prime for men.
Wouldn't it be like
so
when
we
you're
will
20?
we will reveal
No, you're not as strong as you
I
will
guess I'm just different.
we will reveal some of the tape tomorrow on KBN beginning at 2:00. We will reveal all of the tape and go over all of the tape together at 12:30 on Friday here on Mr. Relevant, and then there will be a full-blown YouTube video to come
How
later.
does it feel knowing that if you improve, people will be disappointed?
I don't think people will be disappointed. I think they'll be proud of me.
No.
They'll be disappointed.
It'll
I'll be disappointed.
Disappointed. I'll be, yeah.
You'll be disappointed if I improve?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's funny how bad you were. So if you look like you belong out there a little bit more, that's
Yeah.
bad news for me.
So, somebody made a joke to me the other day, and they said, it's a horrible idea you're doing this again because really nobody talked about it last year. And I go, yeah, it only took the entire week
Yeah.
of ESPN. Like, I woke up one morning, turned on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You guys spent the entire hour on me.
Yeah.
And how poorly I ran.
I mean, professional athletes.
Talk about a
saw it.
wake-up call.
Professional athletes saw it.
Oh, yeah, Tucker Kraft buried me. Yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, I am the most viewed video on one of Bleacher Report's, like, what's their, I think it's called Pick Six, one of their gambling accounts. My video alone has over 8 million views on their Instagram account. It's amassed well over 10 million views across platforms.
What was your RAS score last year? Was it just 0?
Yeah, it was 0-0-0.
I think I still have them in here. Here we go. His
0-0-0.
QBR, his QB RAS,
QB
straight up 0.
0-0-0.
Yeah.
And the only one we could get you into any positive number was it punting?
It might have been D end because my speed, or D tackle maybe because my speed.
I don't have the
10
D
yard
tackle
split.
one. I have Brad's RAS.
Yeah, he was a very good RAS, 949 back in 2012. Yeah, really, really good.
Somehow you got a 0.8 on the bench press score, so you actually might be able to get worse than 0.00.
Well, no. So the 0.8 is all it's telling you is that there have been other athletes at 225.
Oh, they've gotten 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that would indicate
There we go.
8%.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
8%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, this has been
Are
fun.
you going to run the 40 in the same spot?
Yes.
It's a little more trafficked over there.
I gave security a heads up. I said they need to clear the area.
Why are you so close with the security?
Because one of the guys lives in my building.
Does that have anything to do with drinking beers after work?
No. The guy lives in my building. I don't. I had a hand up. Yesterday I did have a few beers.
I didn't even know that. That was just.
What about Monday?
No, not Monday. I was still on vacation detox Monday. I'm gonna have none tonight because I got a big day tomorrow. Big day tomorrow.
So to combat a week of beverages on vacation, you took one day off.
I took Sunday off. I took Monday off. I'm taking a day off.
One
That's 3
day.
days.
One day better.
Well, no, there's a day in between, so that doesn't count. That doesn't count as
3 or
days.
4 though. 75% is a pretty good split
No.
for 0 alcoholic beverages. I only had.
It's a good thing you're not competing against anybody.
I only had 2 beers last night. Like, let's not make it seem like I went crazy.
No, but certainly, had I been running a 40, I probably would have sworn off beers for weeks.
Yeah, but here's the issue, Josh, is I didn't realize this was happening this week until yesterday.
Oh, it's not like they tell us about this months in advance.
Yeah, we don't know when the NFL Combine is. It wouldn't be the anniversary of you running it last year. Like, no forethought into, hey, this could come up again. Maybe I should do at least something.
All right, Friday's show will be memorable for more than one reason. Time now for what we missed, what we learned on Mr. Irrelevant. Friday will also be the end of an era on this program. I will give that individual the floor.
Yeah, Friday will be my last show on Mr. Irrelevant. It's been incredibly fun doing this show and building it up with Strouf, but with the way things are going here in Madison and my role, just shifting to doing more things in just different spots, so I'll still be around. Just won't be producing this show 3 days a week. So
we will go from a 4-man booth to a 3-man booth as will take over Hunter's responsibilities here in Milwaukee. But Friday going to be memorable for several reasons. We're going to recap.
What
the
a better
combine.
way for your swan song to be you competing in the combine.
It's a great way to send Hunter out. And we are also going to revisit. I confirmed he could find it. You guys probably aren't even familiar with this epic rant. When the Packers beat the Cowboys in the playoffs, it's when it was still a 2-man show. I was still living in Madison. Hunter went on this unbelievable rant in his car. So we are going to revisit that as well on Friday, just so you guys can have a piece of Mr. Irrelevant history with you. So Friday, Combine Review, Hunter's last show. Big one coming up with you starting at 12:30 on Friday. And Hunter will stop by from time to time because, of course, he will. But 12:30 Central, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison on YouTube on Friday, as well as available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Go ahead.
How soon into the season are we going to need to check into the college football season, check where Hunter's at with the Wisconsin Badgers?
Week 2.
No. See, what's going to happen is the Badgers are going to shock the world. They're going to be 3-0 to start the season, and you guys are going to be begging me to come on to apologize to me because Luke Fickell's figured it out, and the Badgers are going to be back.
I think Hunter's just going to have a weekly slot to talk about college football in the fall.
I don't know what type of time Hunter's going to have, but like every Wednesday during the season, we need like a Hunter 60 seconds. Just give me everything you got on the Wisconsin Badgers football team.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying this with the hope that things go maybe poorly. I think that's more entertaining when he gets fired up and is debating who needs to be fired and got rid of and what needs to happen.
Yep.
So I do want to reserve reservation. If things go well, he gets every other week.
I like that. All right, that'll do it for us today. We're back with you Friday for the Combine reveal on Hunter's last show. We'll talk to you then. Peace.